Alrighty, guys, happy Monday. So, Dan, we're going to be covering organic marketing today. A few people in our programs are absolutely crushing it. So, do you want to give the guys a little overview of what they're going to learn over the next 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you and I are going to spit some absolute fire on organic marketing, and we've both grown multiple six-figure businesses in the last kind of 3 to 6 months using organic marketing. And so we're going to be sharing those frameworks. We're going to be sharing exactly like what content you should be posting, what you shouldn't be posting, the rhythm of content, different posts for different results. So posts for actually generating clients, posts for generating engagement, posts for generating conversations. We're going to give you some really good measurables to see whether it's working or not, and how to leverage your organic content. So once you create one piece of content, how to make sure that that gets seen by lots and lots of people on lots of different platforms as well. So lots of exciting stuff we're going to share, brother.
Well, mate, let's get into it. So such a common question, right, is how do we actually know whether the organic marketing and content's working? So you can go out of a couple of different ways, because the really big thing is how many, consultations have you got booked, right? So they must be tracking that. But do you have like any other thoughts on how they can track and measure to know that this stuff's actually working for their business?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, like the end result is why. You always got to look at why. Why am I doing this? Why am I spending, at least an hour a day, at least 5 hours a week doing organic content? It's not to generate likes, all right, or followers. Likes and followers do not pay bills, all right? They do not grow businesses. What pays bills and actually builds a successful business is paid customers. So ultimately, the end result has to be paid customers. In between that, you've got to have bookings, all right? So you've got to get core bookings. Now, before that, you've got to have conversations. And so really what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the three. I'm looking at how many conversations I'm having, how many bookings am I getting from those conversations, and how many clients am I signing as a result of that. They're the three. Am I interested in followers? Not really, all right? I don't need those egocentric stats, all right? What I need is I want more clients, because I know that my program is absolutely going to blow their world. I know that it's going to change their life. Ultimately, that's where I want to get to. But in between, there's a few steps.
Yeah, and there's a big like messenger step, which we won't cover, like the actual scripting to get those consults. But I think like the easiest way to track whether your content is really powerful is when people reach out to you and you're like, how do I get started in your program? Or I want to start in this. And one of the things I've found, we're going to talk about a couple of steps, is firstly, the more you can engage in these relationships, right? Have chats with them, they'll comment on your post, you're replying, so you're posting stuff of interest. But then also there comes a time of how many times have you engaged with them on social media, which kind of bridges us into, the different types of posts to create these conversations, because all sales organically are created through a private messenger conversation. But Dan, where should everyone be posting?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think for me, definitely it's got to be Facebook. All right, your own organic Facebook profile is absolute gold. You should, I recommend for most people, a Facebook group. And so you should be posting within that group. Your Instagram, your Facebook stories, your Instagram stories. And probably one that I'm not as proficient on, but will be looking to do so a little bit more, is YouTube, and then LinkedIn as well. And so, you and I are doing a little bit of LinkedIn as well. So they're just some starting points. I haven't seen anyone make 7 figures from TikTok, so probably leave that one for now. And same with Snapchat and the like as well. So yeah, they're the big ones that you definitely need to be posting on. And now here's the thing, Jimmy. A lot of people go, Dan, that's a lot of platforms. Holy shit, like you've just given me so much work to do already. That's not the case. You create one piece of content, all right? And it's got to be good, all right? It's got to be high quality. It's not, you lifting up your shirt, taking a bathroom selfie. It's not your smoothie that you had this morning or anything else. It's actually got to be good shit that solves problems, all right, and delivers value and results and respects your consumers' time. But once you deliver that, Craig Ballantyne, our coach, says use every spoke on the wheel. And that means you you don't just put it on your personal Facebook page, but put it on all those aforementioned platforms that are just, stated categorically listed as you go through. And then that way you're using every part of the pick, all right? And we get the most leverage for our content.
Yeah, 100%. And guys, I'm using an app now. It's called StreamYard. So at the moment, this is going to YouTube, Facebook, a Facebook group, and also my business page. And then what happens after this, my VA team jumps on, they download the video, they'll post it on YouTube, and then they'll make a video under 10 minutes that we'll share on our Instagram story later, Instagram TV later this week as well. So one of the things that can happen, and everyone gets caught up in being content machines, but in the fitness industry as gym owners, we can't. So you've got to become a master at repurposing this content, guys, because one of the things we're saying, we want you to produce a lot of content that helps people, but there is no way I would ever recommend making 5 different videos every single day, because it is not the best use of your time, because you have so many other things that you need to do whilst running a business. So you've got to be really, really masterful at repurposing, like an absolute weapon at it. And that's where apps really, really help this process. And so there's a couple of different posts, that we can do. So, I'm really happy that you came on, Dan, because you're really, really good at writing, long form written content that gives people value through the power of word. So we're going to talk about giving results in advance, either by video like this or written. So Dan, when you're kind of giving advice on writing, long form, medium copy with a really nice image, because you do it well, do you have any tips and tricks on people on how to do that?
Yeah, look, I think there's a few tips and tricks. Number one is facts tell, stories sell. So if you can identify stories, and so you've got to always be looking for stories to emphasize your point. Now, they may come from your personal life. They may come from a TV show you're watching, a book you're reading, an observation you've made. Maybe it's, you do some commentary on the, US election, for example, something topical and newsworthy, works really, really well. The second thing, and there's this model that I teach called 4 Forces. I got it from Taki Moore. And it's really good at identifying, your avatar, who your avatar is, but more importantly, what are the things that frustrate them? What are their frustrations that keep them, just nag away at them? What are their fears that keep them up at night? What are their wants and what are their aspirations? And really what your content needs to do is it needs to speak to those fears and frustrations. It needs to solve them, so it gives them their want and aspiration. And so it delivers a lot of value in doing so. It solves a major problem for them, and it also delivers what they want. And if you can do that in a story form, that works particularly well for long written copy. So, there's, for me, that's the real key is, like, with content, you have to respect your consumer's time. So Jimmy and I right now, we're not going to give you any fluffy shit. We're going to respect your time, and we're going to give you what exactly is working. And so again, it's just like, make sure, like, again, Craig Ballantyne has this great content filter, and he's like, ask yourself, number one, what's the purpose of this content? Number two, does it respect my consumer's time? Number three, does it solve problems? And then number four, does it actually help that prospect know, love, and trust me? If your content's not doing that, then don't even bother. So there's a few tips there, Jimmy.
And I think as well, guys, I talk to a lot of people, they don't have any, testimonials, any videos, any written stuff in the fitness industry. And I think it was from Russell Brunson, the guy who owns ClickFunnels. It's like star story solution, right? So say if Dan was my client, I don't have to use Dan's name. You can use an alias name, but essentially you picture Dan as pitch him as the star and the amazing results he's got in the transformation, whether it's physical, mental, fitness. And then write a story about where he's at, kind of what happened and how you were the solution. And that's amazing content. And as well, guys, you can use it in your own life, because that creates authenticity about times you were struggling, and, everything like that as well makes it really, really powerful. And mate, just quickly on like video content, because I'm so passionate about video. I think it's the easiest way to make sales off the back of it, because it increases that know, like, and trust really quickly. For people watching, Dan, and you're an awesome presenter. Dan, I'll say this, he's probably the best fitness presenter in the whole fucking world. The guy's insane. But for someone who wants to work on their presentation skills for video, Dan, because you've done this so much, mate, would you have any tips for someone just wanting to get started who's a little bit nervous about creating video content and a presentation as such?
Yeah, well, thanks for the kind words, brother. Look, I think the biggest thing is that number one, you don't have to be perfect. Like I've already, fumbled my words in this video presentation and everything else. And so a lot of people are not willing to take imperfect action. All right. And so they go, look, it's got to be perfect in this and that. I would absolutely say that's complete and utter bullshit, because people actually want to see the real person. So if you mess up your words or whatever else, it actually shows authenticity. And it shows that you're genuine as you're going through. So that's the first thing. Number one, just release the shackles, guys. Release the pressure. It doesn't have to be perfect. Number two is do a little bit of preparation. In saying that, like, no one wants to see someone mumble and talk around shit, all right? Just know what are the key points that you're going to deliver, and deliver those with absolute conviction as you're going through. Number three, do the reps. Like you say, you used very kind words for me, Jimmy, but 10 years ago, I did my first live workshop. I was absolutely shitting my pants. I was nervous as all hell. And now I've done probably 500 workshops plus, live workshops, that is, all around the world on some of the biggest stages. And, when I started, I was absolutely horrific. I was horrible, but I got better by doing the reps. So you got to do the reps. So there's 3 tips to get better at live presentations, whether it's video, whether it's on a stage or anywhere else.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to know, like, even before we jumped on today, Dan and I had a chat for 10 minutes to make sure that this was on point, exactly what we wanted to cover. So you guys got varied off it and we didn't fluff around. But also as well, guys, like when you're creating a video content, Dan said a really amazing point. And the way that I learned is just talk about one topic, right? So you can do a bit of study before, because people will be prone, like the more things you talk about in a live or a video, it can kind of distract the point that you're making. So if you're coming into it, just pick one point, go for 3 to 5 minutes, whatever it is, get that point across. And then one of the things I always like to do in videos at the end is go, if you've watched this video, here's what you do from here, right? And then explain like the process so someone can get a really big action point and a take home that they can implement literally in the next 20 minutes to get results in advance. And Dan, my friend, we've got 2 more posts to cover. And these are the ones that actually, probably create more conversations to close the sales. Doesn't necessarily make them better or worse, because you can overuse them. But let's talk about a blunt post. Okay, tell the guys what a blunt post is, and kind of how frequently you can use them, because it's a pretty big topic.
Yeah, so a blunt post it's essentially a call to action. That's what it is. And really, a lot of people will be engaging in your content, but they don't even know what the next step is on how to work with you or potentially find out more about your products and services. And so a blunt post just cuts to the chase and lets them know exactly what to do. And so there's a few things you want to do with your blunt post. Number one, be really specific in terms of who you're calling out. So I am looking for 5 business owners. All right. So 5 fitness business owners. Okay. That's really specific. Secondly, tell them about the result that you're going to get, who are looking to add $10,000 per month in new business only using organic marketing strategies. All right. So I've told them who I'm looking for. All right. I've told them about the result. And then the third part is tell them what to do. Drop a fire emoji if you're interested in more information. All right. So tell them what to do. You can add a little bit more to it. You can go, look, I will personally coach you. So, you achieve these results in 30 days or less. If you'd like more information, drop a fire emoji. And that's essentially a blunt post. Now, you can just do it with words, or you can do it with words and an image. You got to test these things. I find words and an image work better. The absolute gun of blunt posts is Craig Ballantyne. He's the absolute goat of them. And look, he would say that you need to be doing 1 to 2 a week. I do them a little less frequent than that, but it's probably because I'm not as prolific in my content. So it's like, you probably want, I think a good ratio would be about 1 to 5. So, 4 pieces of good organic content, and then the 5th, a nice big solid blunt post as you go through. Now, I hear a lot of people go, Dan, I don't want to look sales. on my page. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And again, I'm just going to call bullshit. Like, do you want to help people or not? So tell them how you can help them. And a blunt post does that, and it does that really well. So yeah, that's essentially the architecture of a blunt post, Jimmy.
And guys, so on your blunt post, you'll generally get less engagement, like less comments, less likes and things like that. But here's where you get the sales from really, really quickly. And you'll start a conversation where they reach out to you directly, or you reach out to them because they've, commented below. So Dan hit the nail on the head. And guys, I think with something when you're producing content is you need to let people know what you do more regularly, right? I help men between 40 and 49 years old lose over 5 kilos or more, right? Keep letting them know. And that's where these blunt posts work. But if you're posting organically, you're here to close sales. So you have to use these posts to make sure that you're growing and you're having these conversations. And the last one, which is very, very popular, traffic and funnels made this popular. So guys, I'm sure you have a ton of business coaches on your feed like Dan and I. The people use these like absolute hotcakes now, which is a 2-step post. So Dan, your 2-step posts go a little bit better than mine, which absolutely rattles me. It's probably because you presented to like 5,000 people and it gets in my head. So Dan, tell us about a 2-step post and how you make yours go off like nothing I've ever seen. He gets like 100 comments on this stuff. And guys, it's because he's been around for a long time and he's an absolute legend and helped a lot of people. But tell us about a 2-step post, Dan.
Yeah, so the 2-step post is essentially you create a resource. It might be something you pull from one of your programs, right? And it's something that seriously helps your prospect, okay, as you go through. So you might say, I just created a really amazing at-home workout that will enable you to shred fat in 20 minutes or less without any equipment. Who would like a copy? And so you put it out like that. And obviously you're going to get all these comments. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yep, I'm in. And all of those. And now what they've done is they've just put their hand up, that prospect, and said, I'm interested in what you have to offer. I am intrigued by the resource, but more importantly, there's an unmet need here, because I wouldn't have put my hand up if there wasn't an unmet need. And so what you do is you give in public and you sell in private. So you then deliver that resource, always deliver the resource, fulfill your promise, but then engage in a conversation and just go, hey, why are you interested in the at-home workout? What are your current health and fitness goals? Are you getting to the gym as much as you like? No. Okay. So it means that, you're time poor. And then you just uncover through the power of conversation what their needs are. And then you can propose a solution to those needs if the conversation arises and if it presents itself. And so you'll see some of mine, I guess for me, and Jimmy, you said mine do well. I think it happens for 2 reasons. Number one is I've got a decent sized audience just from doing organic for a long time. Number 2 is I really understand my clients. My clients are fitness business owners. I really understand them because I'm a fitness business owner, and I understand what they need to take that next level. And so I create the resource around what they need. So think about those 2 things. Number 1, build your audience so you get more hits on your 2-step. Number 2, create a resource that they need. Number 3, and Jimmy, you've got a killer script for this, is have a real system around those conversations. So you're not just out and asking random questions. You're asking very deliberate questions that uncover need. So then you're in a position to propose your solution only if you can help them. So that's kind of the architecture of a 2-step post.
Yeah, and I think, guys, some really, really popular ones are meal plans. People absolutely love meal plans. So you can be like, hey, one of my clients, Liz, lost 17 kilos. If you would like to see the meal plan she used to get this result, comment below. And you can do that. Pick a client that's lost 17 kilos. They probably have a templated meal plan and it will just go absolutely ballistic. In both of our programs, we have lists of 100 that you can test with Dropbox links and things like that. But you've just got to post. But meal plans and workouts, guys, are usually winners. If you work with like specific niches, like I work with some people who want to work with like high powered business owners, and we do a bit more ones about stress and finding time to exercise as well. Because one of the things you can do in your 2 steps, right, is actually solve the solution to get the sale, right? So saying, hey, I've got a resource that helps parents find more time to train, right? So then obviously the parents are going to comment, and one of their issues that you already know is that Dan isn't finding time to train, for example. So then off the back of it, like, hey, Dan, how's things going with the kids? How often are you training at the moment? And then you can start that sales process off the bat. So Dan, last thing, and I kind of pre-framed it, for a fitness pro watching, they want to close more sales using organic marketing. What would be your advice to do right now after watching this video?
Yeah, look, I think number one, get really, really clear. Don't be vague. All right. You've got to be really clear in who you're targeting. Number two, do a little bit of homework and, do our 4 forces model. Well, it's not ours, it's Tarky's 4 forces model, where you really understand their problems. All right. And more importantly, you understand what they need. Number three, I would commit minimum to 3 to 5 pieces of organic content a week. And that's on every single platform. All right. As you go through. And then number 4, make sure we include some 2 steps and some blunt posts in there so we can generate the necessary business. Now, Jimmy is the organic marketing content king in terms of all the strategies and tactics. He's got 1,000 more, but that's a really good starting point, and that's going to get you some really good results. I absolutely assure you of that.
Yeah, and guys, my advice would be just start posting. Right. I'm a big believer in, jump out of the plane, build the parachute on the way down, start posting your posts. Like Dan, like he said, his first presentation was probably pretty rough compared to if he presented now at Filex. You only figure out this stuff along the way. And even my first videos from 7 years ago, I look back at them and laugh at how different they were. So, you've got to start posting, and then you can figure out, all the tips and tricks and things like StreamYard, but without getting out there and putting yourself, out publicly. This stuff's never going to work because it happens really only through consistency. People love when you turn up consistently for them. And guys, I know you'll absolutely crush it if you get really consistent with your organic marketing. So Dan, mate, thank you for popping on. I'll do a shameless plug for the end of it. Is Dan and I are presenting this Friday at 12:30 p.m. And it's going to be covering how you can generate 20 leads per week with only having to work an hour every single week. We'll teach you how you can use VAs to do this. We're going to go a little bit more in depth into the weeds, into the tactical side of things. So guys, I think in my header, if you scroll up, there's a link to that. So we'd really love to see you there. And Dan, mate, thank you so much for jumping on. We'll connect again on Friday, but then we'll chat on my live again next week, legend.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me on, Jimmy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, just leave us a comment. We love nothing more just to know if this was helpful or not. And look forward to seeing you guys again on Friday.
Cool. See you.